Hope you all have a good day. The topic we are going to discuss about is called the age of revolutions from the year 1830 to 1848. As we are remember in the previous class, we learned about the revolutionaries, that is, the formation of various secret societies which wanted to eliminate monarchy and also to bring a political and constitutional changes, thereby ensuring that nation states are formed at the end. In the same way, we are going to see about the age of revolutions took place between 1830 to 1848. Okay, let's move forward and find out what were the other revolutions that brought in changes, that brought in nation states, and how these revolutions took place had impact on the society as whole. To start with, we see that the conservative regime wanted to bring back monarchy with some sort of modern inputs like modern communication, modern army. So, these conservative regime, they tried to consolidate their power, that is, they tried to clump their power everywhere. Thereby, they were trying to eliminate liberalism and nationalism. At that point of time, liberalism and nationalism became very popular and increasingly associated with revolutions in many regions of Europe. Despite the effort of conservative regime, the liberal nationalists were not backing down. Some of such regions where liberalism and nationalism became very famous was Italy and German states, the provinces of Ottoman Empire, Ireland and Poland. So, all these states witnessed the lot of liberalistic and nationalistic activities supported by the revolutionaries. Therefore, they were trying to bring out some sort of change and wanted to eliminate monarchy that was rising due to conservative regime. These revolutions that took place was led by liberal nationalists who belonged to educated middle class elite. So, of the middle class educated elite, the liberal nationalists were professors, school teachers, clerks, and members of commercial middle classes because there were lot of revolutions going on. The first upheaval took place in the country France in July of 1830. So, what had happened was after the Treaty of Vienna. The Bourbon dynasty came into picture and their king restored to power. During the conservative reaction after 1815 were now overthrown with the help of the liberal revolutionaries. What they did was they marched into the kingdom and established a constitutional monarchy where Louis Philippe was its head. So, this is how they overthrew monarchy and instilled a constitutional monarchy. That is, the power of the monarchy will be constitutionalized and limited according to the constitution. So, this was the first upheaval that took place in France. Moving forward, as we mentioned, Metternich, one of the influential socialists, remarked that when France sneezes, the rest of the Europe catches cold. He said the statement because liberals in Europe get inspired by the revolutions of liberals in France to overthrow monarchy, conservatism, etc., and form this their own elected constitution. Furthermore, another uprising was sparked in Brussels, that is, the capital of Belgium, due to the July Revolution that took place at the point of time. Brussels, which led to Belgium breaking away from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. So, we see that again a new nation state was formed and they freed themselves from United Kingdom of Netherlands, and Belgium rose up as one of the nation states on its independent nature. Moving forward, another event that mobilized or instilled a lot of nationalist feeling. among the educated elite across the Europe was the Greek War of Independence. We have also India's first War of Independence. In the same way, the to, Greek War of Independence took place as well. So, Greece was or had been a part of Ottoman Empire since the very long time, that is since the 15th century. Greece was under the rule of Ottoman Empire. So, what is this Ottoman Empire? The Ottoman Empire is a Turkish empire which ruled over Western Asia or Southeast Europe, and Greece was a part of it. Constantinople was the capital of the Ottoman Empire during that time. This Ottoman Empire was not just a small empire, it spread across Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and even in some part of Northern Africa. There was this immense growth of revolutionary nationalism that sparked off a struggle of independence among Greek, which began in the year 1821. Luckily, this nationalist in Greece got supported from another Greece who were either living in exile and also given support by the Western European who had sympathy for ancient Greek culture and Greek people because they were under the rule of Ottoman Empire for a long time. Many poets and artists remark Greece as cradle of European civilization because it gave birth to almost every aspect of European culture and mobilized public opinion to support Greek struggle against the Muslim empire. The English poet named Lord Byron organized funds and later went to fight in the war. Unfortunately, he died in the year 1824 because of a fever. After a huge struggle, finally, the Treaty of Constantinople signed in the year 1834 which recognized Greece as an independent nation. Thereby, we see that Greece was freed from the rule of Ottoman Empire. Next topic we are going to see about is the romantic imagination and the national feeling. The development of nationalism did not just come through wars or territorial expansion. Culture played an important role in creating the idea of nation, that is, art and poetry, stories and music helped in expressing and shaping the nationalist feeling among people. So, let's look at the Romanticism. Romanticism was a cultural movement which helped in the development of nationalist sentiment. So, basically, the Romantic artists and poets criticized the glorification of reason and science. Instead, they focused more on emotion, institution, and mythical feelings. The effort of these artists and poets was to create a shared collective heritage, a common cultural past which could be basics of the nation. So, in order to form a nation, people should have a collective heritage and a common cultural past. There were many other romantics, such as German philosopher whose name is Johann Gottfried Herder, who lived from the year 1744 to 1803. He claimed that the real German culture was the culture of common people, which is called Das Volk. He also said that the true spirit of nation, Volksgeist, could be effectively popularized only through folk song, folk poetry, and folk dance. Hence, according to Gottfried, the collections and record of these forms of folk culture is an essence in the project of nation building. So, nation will be built not just territorial expansion or wars, but also through cultural change which emphasizes collective heritage and common cultural past. Also, we see that there was a huge emphasis which was laid on the vernacular language or local language. And there was a lot of collection of local folklore, that is, the traditional beliefs and the stories of community passed through generation was not just recorded or recovered an ancient national spirit, but it was also carry the modern nationalist message to a large audience of people who were most illiterate. We also see that the vernacular language or vernacular press was very essential in the case of Poland, which had been partitioned at the end of 18th century by the great powers. So, Poland was partitioned or cut into pieces by Russia, Prussia, and Austria. At that point of time, even though Poland did not survive as an independent territory, however, their nationalistic feeling kept alive through music and language. There was a famous Polish composer called Karol Kurpinski. He celebrated the national struggle through his music and operas, and he turned folk dances like Polonaise and Mazurka into a nationalist symbols. Language also played an important role in this situation. As a song we written in local languages that developed national sentiments among peoples. However, after the Russian occupation, the Polish language was completely driven off of schools and the Russian language were imposed everywhere. However, in the year 1831, armed rebellion fought against the Russian rule, but the rebellion was ultimately crushed, even though the rebellion was crushed. This gave a new sense of nationalistic feeling among the people. Subsequently, following the many members of clergy began to use language as a weapon of national resistance in Poland. So, Polish was used for the church gathering and for all religious instruction. As a result of this national resistance, many priests and bishops were put into jail or sent to Siberia as a punishment by the Russian authorities, as they refused to preach or use Russian in religious gatherings. This is how Polish language or the use of Polish came to be seen as a symbol of the struggle against Russian dominance in Poland. So, with this, we see how language, poetry, art, etc. played a very important role in rising nationalist sentiment. So, with this, we end the topic.